Excellencies, dear colleagues, participants of the Samarkand Forum, greetings from the OSCE Secretariat in Vienna. I wish to thank the National Center of the Republic of Uzbekistan for Human Rights for organizing this event and kind invitation. It's indeed great pleasure for me to be with you today, even in a virtual format. I am grateful to all national and international partners who supported this initiative. Let me also thank the government of Uzbekistan for putting the nexus between human rights and environmental challenges into today's focus. It's a high time that we have a real discussion on this increasingly important issue that affects the security of individuals and entire communities. Within our comparatively short lifespans, we have all witnessed concerning developments in our environment, whether it's the rapid rise of global temperatures or extreme weather events, deforestation and loss of habitat, desertification or floodings, increased pollution, and irregularities in water availability, to mention just a few. We have all witnessed the negative impact of environmental degradation on people's rights, be it the right to an adequate quality of life, to safe housing, to food, to health, to water and sanitation, or simply the right of individuals to go on with their lives in a secure and dignified manner. And we know for a fact that the impact of these challenges will hit vulnerable groups of society most: the poor, the disabled, the elderly, or youth. Considering the complexity of these challenges, solutions should necessarily be comprehensive and holistic. This is to say that they must be grounded in science-based analysis, take a human rights-centered approach, and rely on political will to implement effective measures for redress. States have been binding human rights obligations under international law, and judicial developments across the globe increasingly demonstrate the dire consequences of environmental-related human rights violations. We all know examples of frequent conflicts of uses, such as people losing their habitat to hydropower plants, grazing and agricultural land lost to infrastructure developments, water diverted with the little consideration for downstream users. These examples illustrate the importance of effective environmental governance as a useful instrument to avoid human rights violations. This is why the OSCE, the world's largest regional security organizations, work across the three dimensions of security: the political-military one, the economic and environmental one, which I have the honor to represent, and the human dimension. At the OSCE, we strive to adopt and develop exactly this holistic approach. On the practical level, we develop and implement initiatives together with our OSCE field operations to address potential security risks stemming from climate change. Our climate and security project, for example, is designed to address climate vulnerabilities and promote cooperation through the joint climate adaptation actions. In the framework of this project, for example, in Central Asia, high mountains have been identified as a priority area for cooperation. Our goal here is to improve livelihood security, address the implications of glacial melting, and to tackle climate-related human mobility. In parallel, we are also working to mitigating the impacts of climate change to the energy sector and increase the resilience of communities regarding natural resource management. But we are doing much more in other areas like water security, good environmental governance, and disaster risk reduction. Let me underscore as well that my office is particularly attentive to the integration of a gender and youth perspective in our activities. Women and youth are most likely to experience poverty and climate-induced disasters such as floods and droughts, which plunge entire families into deeper financial hardship. but at the same time, they are indispensable actors of change in supporting adaptation and transition pathways to a more sustainable and resilient development. This is why our projects promote women's participation in decision making at many levels. And I'm glad to mention here the Women and Energy Network, the Women and Water Network, and the gendered activities in climate change and security. Finally, I would like to highlight the work of our project coordinator in Uzbekistan, with whom my office works very closely. Presently, the project coordinator in Uzbekistan is mapping the existing climate-related data in Uzbekistan so that the government can develop informed policies that meet the needs of the population, including vulnerable groups. And such projects are also being implemented jointly with other field missions across all of the OSCE region. These projects will have direct effects on communities and help safeguard their rights by ensuring sustainable living conditions and enabling policy frameworks. We look forward to fruitful discussions today to explore examples of sustainable practices, strengthen legislative measures to protect environment and safeguard human rights. I thank you.